What's up, Brujitas? Reverend Dave here. Today, we have a fun one for you. There's been a topic of debate for decades, maybe centuries, whatever, but it's a topic on a lot of the witchy groups, and whatever. And the question is, can you call yourself a warlock? So this particular video is going to pertain a lot to the male audience, but it's something that we can all grasp, I suppose. And so, is it taboo? Is it superstition? Is it just misrepresented? Where does it come from? How did it start? Well, I myself, don't mind being called a warlock. I even sometimes will call myself a warlock, but I probably call myself a brujo more than anything. And brujo is just a Spanish word for male witch. Nothing to do with brujeria, santeria, or any South American practice or anything like that. Okay? Period. It's just Spanish for male witch. Bruja is, of course, female. Now, the term itself, warlock, where did it start? Where did it come from? How did it become to be known as evil? Well, in what I've learned in researching this and just over the years and whatever, if you look in the dictionary, the term or the word warlock is translated as a noun, and it basically just means a male who practices witchcraft or the dark arts. That's the dictionary. So, but the word itself comes from the Old English language and was first, translated as warlaga, and then was translated to mean traitor, scoundrel, monster, and oath breaker. And then later on in Middle English, it was translated as somebody who is in league with the devil. Yeah, go figure. So, and of course, all this is perpetuated by the church. So, but what oath did they break? Why are they called oath breakers? Warlock's supposed to mean oath breaker. What oath did they break? I've always wondered that. So supposedly the story goes, and you can research this yourself, let me know what you come up with, but supposedly there was a group of people, and they were just, decent, upstanding citizens, good Christians. They follow their local church, local laws, or whatever. But they really didn't necessarily follow strictly the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, or Jesus Christ. And Christ is not Jesus' last name. He's Jesus the Christ. Just quick reference. And so some of these people who were thinking outside the box or whatever, didn't want to follow strictly just that, were considered pagans or polytheistic. They believed in different religions, kind of being like an eclectic witch. You believe in a lot of stuff and you use it for your practice. And So now, because of this polytheistic belief, they were often accused of performing witchcraft. And who knows what that meant back then to these people in their eyes, because back then these people were idiots, you know. And because of this, they were subjected to painful and humiliating trials and murders and what have you, and you know the story. So apparently, a branch of these pagans broke off and started ratting out their friends. And of course, they were bribed by the church to do this, but they were offered money or got to keep the belongings of the dead people that were persecuted. How fucked up is that? And they got these things just for turning them in, for ratting out their friends. So apparently it became so lucrative for some of these people that it became like a profession. They made a living off of it. That's messed up too. And so those particular people that made this living off it and did it, they were the ones that are called the oath breakers, because they completely left and whatever. Now, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion, I don't even know or think they were truly practicing witchcraft or even were real witches per se. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of people today that call themselves Christians who don't follow, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. They're hypocrites. They're, you know, false prophets, as we call them. A lot of those televangelists on TV, you know, things like that. So who knows? That's, in my opinion, I don't know. But they were bribed. And back then, the poor days, easy to happen, I suppose. Now, so, and then as for the other people, I think they were just good people. They just worshiped nature. They thought outside the box. They didn't want to be ruled by religion like a lot of us are today, you know, and I don't know. So, when did it become socially acceptable? Or has it? To call yourself a warlock. I forget the source. I mean, I forgot where I saw this, but there was a study done about the term and the use of the term warlock. And they showed this graph. And the graph, from the 1800s all the way to the 1950s, it was kind of even, kind of low, whatever. And then from the 1960s to 2019, it just went skyrocketed. And I think this is, of course, due to social media and Hollywood and, you know, and shit like that. For me, because I'm old, my first recollection, and this is where I fell in love a lot with more witchcraft. Now, I won't get into my upbringing right now. Watch my first videos and I talk about a little bit about whatever, but because of my Aztec ancestral roots and watching my grandmother and the things that she did, some stuff to me is natural, and I don't consider it really witchcraft. It's just something that my ancestors or people, what they did. Now, I've taken this step further, of course, in my practice, and I'm a little more darker, but whatever. But back then, In the I think late 60s, the show Bewitched came out. And I know a lot of you know this show now because it's been in reruns for fucking ever. But I think I was 5 years old, whatever, like in the 70s, watching this, and I'm like, I love this fucking show. And I think that show, and it's funny, I still watch it today, because knowing what I know now and then watching it now, there's a lot of stuff in that show that's very truthful, very real, some of the spells that they do and things like that. Now, the disappearing and whatever, of course, that's not, but whatever. But in the show, all the males are called warlocks. And they're all cool, whatever. And Samantha Stevens, her dad, of course, is like a big time warlock. And he belongs to an actual warlock social club. I thought it was fucking brilliant. Big plaque on the wall, it says Warlock Social Club. It's fucking rad. So ever since then, I thought it was cool. I mean, or okay for the term to be labeled or pinned to a male. So I don't know where you stand on this. Hopefully this helps the confusion a little bit. If you find something else out or you have any comments about it, please put them down. I'd love to know. But this was just a fun little video that I wanted to do because it's just something that's just been floating around out there. And I'm like, you know what? I want to talk on this and kind of hopefully straighten it out, or I don't know, or whatever, but enlighten somebody. But you guys, thanks again for watching. Do no harm, take no shit. I'm going to talk to you real soon. I got some other stuff lined up, and see ya. Love you. Bye.